Hey everybody, we are here at C2 Tactical in Scottsdale with Dave Laird, the Director of Training here at C2. Stephanie, the XO, is in the house this weekend to help to teach this weekend in Yuma. And we're here on the range, and we want to revisit something. It's Mantis Monday, and it's Live Fire Monday today, something that we can do to remind ourselves of the difference between shooting quickly, shooting carefully, and shooting precisely. There are live fire training tools and dry fire training tools. Mantis X is the only one that does both. It will change the way you shoot for the better. It has helped me immensely. So right from the start, I want to say those terms, shooting quickly, carefully, precisely, are not mine. Learned them from Tom Gibbons, the owner of Rangemaster. Tom is, I consider him a shooting mentor. Dude is real been there, done that, and these are his terms. And I love using his favorite target, the ILF-EQP. And so we're using these ILF-EQP targets, and the reason that we're doing these, and I love these so much, is I actually have a bunch of different circles here. So I have an 8-inch circle, I have a 6-inch circle, I have a 4-inch circle, I have a 2-inch circle, I have a 1-inch circle. And so I can shoot these at different cadences and figure out, oh, okay, how much of a refined sight picture do I need? So when we're gonna shoot something like an 8-inch circle, we're just gonna start at 3 yards, which might be a standard or a typical defensive distance. Somebody sticks a knife in your face and says, give me your wallet, armed robber across a counter, something like that. And if I'm going to put some in the center mass, then this is something that I would shoot quickly. This is something that I want to put a bunch of rounds in that center mass as fast as I can, because what I am trying to do here is I'm trying to get him to bleed out, and that takes a lot of puncture wounds to do quickly. So I shoot quickly here. If instead I wanted to go to something like a face box, then I got to shoot carefully. I might need to shoot that a little bit slower to verify my hits at this kind of distance. Here, if I wanted to put something in an eye, something like that, something with a very small target that I really want to reliably shut the computer off, I have to shoot that precisely. So quickly, carefully, precisely. Quickly, carefully, precisely. We could shoot these in any order, but we'll kind of walk through that progression, that we can shoot this quickly. How fast can we get our sights and press the trigger? We'll shoot this carefully, so make sure we don't get any misses. We slow down just a little bit, get a little bit more refinement in our sight picture while we're prepping and pressing the trigger. And then this one here, we have to shoot precisely, so we have to really slow down. So let's back up and do it. Steph, we're going to let you start. Well, and the reason that I want you to start is I don't want you to feel pressure on what's quickly.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yep.
I don't want you to feel pressure from Dave and I about, well, how fast is fast?
Okay.
Okay? So a great reminder to us here that what is quickly for you is for you and what you're doing right now. Not what somebody else is doing. Right. It's what you're doing. So all I want to have here in this is I'm self-diagnosing. So I'm getting a good, firm, two-handed grip, doing what we talked about last week on the Live Fire Monday, or a couple weeks ago, of tracking my sights. When that sight settles back down and I can see my front sight inside that big old 8-inch circle, I press the trigger and I don't have to have a lot of refinement. So I can do that quickly. So Steph, why don't you go ahead and safely draw. We'll start this one from a low ready. Okay. And what your goal is here is I just want to shoot 5 shots quickly. So once I get up on target, so you can get up on target and feel and get yourself on that trigger, and then what you're going to do is you're going to press, and as soon as that front sight comes back quickly, you're going to put 5 shots in that center mass. Go ahead.
Okay.
Okay, good. Man, that was pretty darn good shooting. You double tapped one of them there. Go ahead and safely holster up. Okay, Dave, same thing, man. Go ahead and safely draw. We're going to come from a low ready. And again, when you feel good about it, you're going to get 5 quick shots into that center mass. Go from finger off trigger if you're there, or you could drive out to high, to on target and go. Go ahead. So obviously, Dave is a highly competent shooter, so he is running pretty quick. All right, see what I can do. All right, I'm running the old dot gun here. So, here's the funny part. Everybody says dot gun is slower up close. Only if you're asking too much of it. That's the reality. Only if you're asking too much of the dot. So if we're sitting here and we're going, oh, okay, I got to see God and everything, then maybe. But here's what we got. Okay, guess what? I saw what I needed to see. So dot gun can be just as fast up close. You just got to know how much information it has to give you. Okay, so now we're going to move to the head box, right? So again, in the head box here, we're going to shoot carefully. So we've shot quickly. Now we're going to shoot carefully. Now that doesn't mean slowly. That means carefully, which means we are going to see that and verify that it's in there, that our front side is in between the notch, that we're not going to miss a smaller target before we pull. Now, maybe here, Stephanie was pulling about half-second splits here. Maybe she'll pull up and pull about 3/4 of a second splits. It's going to be longer, okay, to verify that. Takes a little bit of time. Dave was pulling quarter splits. Maybe he's going to come up to 1/3 to a half, you know. So again, it depends on where you're at right now. We'll see where I get. Okay, so here we go. Stephanie, you ready for this?
Yep.
Okay, go ahead and safely draw the firearm. Now, what you're going to work on here is, again, you're going to see those sights, and we're going to carefully, not slowly, but carefully, put 5 shots in the head box, okay?
Okay.
And again, as fast as you can verify that it's going to go in the head box for sure.
Okay.
All right, go ahead. Good. Did you notice that your cadence sped up just a little bit at the end as you got comfortable?
Yeah.
Yeah, it totally happens to all of us, right? All right, Dave, go ahead and safely draw. Same thing. You're going to feel that and see that front sight in there. And then, again, verifying going to maybe take you a little bit longer than it did on the other one. 5 shots in that head box. Go ahead. So same thing. Those last 2, you're like, woo! We all end up Ricky Bobby at the end there, right? All right, let me see what I can do. It's so funny because cadence, it just almost naturally speeds up as you go because you're like, oh, I'm doing this. It's good. Oh, yay, here I go. That almost always does that. Okay, so here we go. And again, as I see that. Okay, cool, right? So I can see that front sight and verify that it's doing what I want it to do in that kind of a time frame. Okay, cool. Now we're going to move in as well, and we're going to come now to this small circle, okay? So we have the size of the circle. So guess what? It's going to take us a little longer still. This is a precise shot. So this might be, it's not a guy that's standing in front of me, full fronting me and going, give me your wallet or whatever. This is somebody who has a hold of one of my little ones, that we have a hostage situation, or it's a shot where somebody's not paying attention to me and I want to put it right in his ear hole. And I can't miss. This one I can't miss. So how much time do I have to take when I can't miss? A little bit more, right? Okay, so Steph, same thing. You're going to go for that white circle, and my goal is all 5 of them nice and easy as I can. Don't take time you don't need, but take all the time you need. This is a precise shot. Go ahead. This just in, the XO really knows how to shoot precise shots. Go ahead, Dave. Take your time with those 5 and get all 5 of them where you want them. So note to self, when people ask me here in Phoenix, hey John, I really need a class in Phoenix, what do? I say, you go down and talk to Dave Laird, because Dave can shoot, and more than shooting, he can teach. Little extra for you dot shooters. We're here at 3 yards, so guess what? We're gonna have a little bit of dot offset here. So if I aim for the center, it's gonna go a little bit low. So what I tend to do with dots like this is I aim at the top edge at these distances, and that gives me what I want. So this is where that gray guns trigger really kind of does it. So what was I doing there? Well, I mean, I had a group of 3, group of 2. I'm perfectly comfortable with that. And I wasn't shooting slow. I mean, I was shooting probably 3/4 second split, something like that. On a 1-inch dot at 3 yards, I'm comfortable with that. Okay, so what does this teach us? It teaches us what this cadence can be like, and we can train the cadence. So let's use the Mantis and see if we can work on our cadences just a little bit on that. So we're gonna do a 1-second split at this point. 1 front sight, 2 front sight, 3 front sight, and you'll hear it bip, 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 bip. That's a head box shot for you. Okay? So let's try to find those. Go ahead, gun up and on target. You'll hear it give you some cadence.
On the head?
Yeah, and you're just going to be at that head box, and you're going to hear it, dirt, 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 and then you can kind of see it as it goes. So you watch, boom, do, 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 1, go. Okay. So I'm going to guess, I was watching you and watching this and not watching your target. You pushed one of them low.
Yep.
I'm going to guess it was your 4th shot.
Maybe.
Maybe? Dave, did you see which shot it was that went low?
No, I was watching her shoot.
Watching the hands. Okay. So,
I want to bet it's probably one of the first ones.
Really? Okay, so interesting. Look at the cadences here, though. 0.97, 1.07, 0.95, 0.95, 1.04. That was a perfect 1-second cadence. You couldn't have really gotten any better than that, okay? So you've got that cadence down really, really well. Awesome. Okay, so let's back up and let's try a 1/2-second cadence.
Okay. Back
so
down.
yeah, we're going to go back to the 1/2-second cadence. So back to the larger circle and feel what the half-second cadence feels like. Okay? Here you go. You shoot it ready?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, good. So here's the interesting part. It didn't pick up shot number 2. I could see it. Your shots were all where you wanted them to be. Again, you got some pretty good shots there. So the third shot, it showed 2-2 and 104, but again, it missed one in there. So your cadence on those is at 0.50, 1.04 for 2 shots. Guess what? Those are both 0.5s. 0.51, 0.51. Couldn't. That's what's up. That was perfect. Okay.
What's more interesting is I watched her shot group this time, and she put them all basically in a 2-inch group.
In a very tight, nice group. Okay, so that is money. All right, so now we're going to put them together. Okay, so now at the end here, because we have all 3 targets, we want to be able to change our pace. I think it's an important thing to be able to not just shoot, this time I need to shoot this, but I might need to change my pace, right? I may need to go, okay, I'm going to shoot a couple fast, 1 careful, 1 precise. Couple quick, 1 careful, 1 precise. And so I may need to go 2-2-1. That may be something I do. I got 15 rounds in the gun, so I can do that 3 times. So that might look something like this. So I might be sitting here like this and go, okay, cool. So what I want to do, quickly, carefully, precisely. Okay? So I might say, okay, what am I looking at? So you see I shot a slightly different cadence each time. Let's see if I could see that again. So you see how I went from quick, a little bit more careful, precise. I can do this one more time. Aha! Hey, look, I did it. Shocker, I'm going to put the gun away now. XO, your turn.
Okay.
Just going to kind of feel that a couple of times. So you're going to put the quick shots, and you don't even necessarily have to do them in that order. So I did quickly, carefully, precisely. But I could do precisely, quickly, carefully. Okay. So that I'm having to change my thinking process. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. Something I can do as many times as I want on the range. Go ahead.
Okay. You want me to do that?
Yeah, sure. Do what you feel like doing. So do your precise shot, then quick, then careful. So she went precise, careful, quick. So she went the other way. Okay, Dave?
Ready?
However you feel it. Now, what you're going to notice, Dave is a heck of a shooter. So I didn't notice a whole lot of difference in your cadence between your quick and your careful because we're at a pretty short distance, and so he didn't really have to feel that. So we're gonna push Dave back a little bit and make him feel this a little bit. Come on back here, Dave, and feel the difference now between quickly and carefully and precisely. Maybe feel the difference in there. Go ahead, man, as you feel comfortable. Now you heard it. Do you hear the difference there? Did you feel the difference there? So now at this kind of distance, you're like, wait a minute, I had to kind of verify my sights a little bit more. So every time you go to the range, here's the cool part of this. We're working out of the holsters because we're on a private bay. We can do that. And maybe your range can. I know here at C2, you can get holster certified here.
Correct.
And listen, I think an indoor range that doesn't do that anymore, you should start making some noises at. And I get it that they want you to verify that. But even if you can't, right, this is one I could start out of hand and just shooting that quickly, carefully, precisely. And if you don't have an ILFEQ target, guess what? There's nothing saying you couldn't bring a paper plate, a 3x5 card, something that's, different size targets like that are really easy to do.
Post-its.
Yeah, Post-it notes. Great idea. That you can use these things and do that on the range. Dave, would you say if people practice this, you think it'll make them better?
Oh, absolutely.
Can't do better than that, right? How'd you feel running these drills, XO?
That was fun. It was really interesting. I think it's a good mental thought to go through and really challenge yourself. What do I need for this shot? How much do I need for this shot? How much of my sights do I need to see to get this versus this?
Most of all, it builds confidence.
And I always feel like confidence comes from competence. When I can do it, now then I'll be confident when I have to do it.
Right.
I think that's important. So, guys, hit the range. Give it a try.